right, man. So we've got Utah hockey. Let's go ahead and break it down, man. What's the first subject we're going to talk about today?
I mean, finding success at home for this Utah hockey club has been a persistent struggle, right? They're struggling to find success. Yeah, I mean, to kind of get into it, I mean, for a team teetering on the edge of the Western Conference playoff race, the margin for error is getting thinner by the day for this Utah hockey club. And I mean, despite that, it's been the road successes that have kind of kept this team's playoff hopes really alive. And I mean, winning 12 games at home obviously has been great. I mean, they had a 5-game road streak, which that was really fun to watch in the middle of December. But the question is can they get it done at home? Are they going to get it done at home? And is that going to be enough to get them into the playoffs?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about how the homestand's gone so far. So far on this homestand, they've played 4 games.
Yeah.
They are 1-3 in those 4, with the only win coming against the San Jose Sharks in overtime.
Right.
So that's tough. That's not going to get it done. Utah is still 10 points behind the 7th place spot in the Western Conference. As a reminder, the top 7 teams in the conference make it to the playoffs. Utah is sitting at 43 points, 10 points behind the 53-point 7th spot, which is now the LA Kings, by the way. There's been a switch of that. It was Kavalo Avalanche. Now it's the LA Kings. We still have games against the Rangers, the Blues, and the Jets. The Rangers suck. The Blues are ahead of us in the rankings, but they're still sitting outside the playoff standings. Bad news is the Jets are the top team in the Western Conference, so that's not great. They have to win out for the rest. They need to win these 3 games to even be 500 on this road trip. On this homestand. We've beaten both the Rangers and the Blues this year so far. The Jets are going to be a bit tricky, but simply put, this homestand just didn't go as planned, and it's not going to help us get back in the playoff position. So maybe, actually, I'm going to save that for the end there, but that's kind of where I'm sitting at that when it comes to that. The homestand is not shaked out the way we were expecting it to. And again, we're going to have to really rely on the road wins to kind of help carry this team to the postseason.
Yeah, I mean it's been really, really rough. And I mean, over their last 4 home games, they've allowed an average of 3 goals per game while only managing 1.8 goals per game on offense. So that's always going to equal losing hockey. Like you said, they did beat San Jose for its lone win of the first 4 games in January. And for a team that's won just 3 times in its last 14 games in Salt Lake City, and its 6 home victories are the fewest in the NHL. Which hurts because
should help beer sales though.
Well, yeah, I mean, it should help. And the fact is the attendance for these games has been absolutely excellent, right? I mean, it's reported a sellout crowd of 11,131 for every home game during its inaugural season so far.
It's great.
So, which is, I mean, absolutely great, right? I mean, the full view seating capacity for hockey games is lower than obviously the seating capacity for the Jazz games and stuff, but I mean, they're selling these games out. People are showing up. They're watching. They just got to make it happen, man. They need to get in there and actually, it's great to know that fan support hasn't dipped against, the struggles on the home ice, but they've got to start getting some wins for the home fans and letting them take it home.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we'll jump into the comments here. We got another comment from Greg Hawkins there. The hockey club is doing worse than they did last year with better talents. Ooh, that's a good point.
That might be a video for next week.
But I still don't know enough about NHL to really understand why yet.
Yeah.
But that's why we're here, Greg. We're here to break it down for you a little bit and help.
We're here to research it for you so that you can figure it out. So maybe we'll do that one next week.
That's a good video idea for next week. Absolutely. Compare this
Worse
to the
with
Coyotes.
better. That's the name for the video.
Worse with better. Yeah. Coyotes versus Utah HC or whatever we're going to be calling ourselves. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's time, to maybe if we get these players turned around, with some of these players coming back healthy, maybe that leads into better success with all these players coming back. And that kind of leads us into our next subject. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So we need to do, Armstrong went into great lengths this offseason for this team to build in what they needed, which is better defense. Armstrong knew this, and he stepped up and straightened up the blue line for this team. One of those moves that he acquired was the best defensive player, one of the best defensive players in the league, in John Marino, who made his season debut yesterday in the loss to the Canadians. Now, that's not great. I'm saying that he made his season debut 43 games into the season. But what's your take there on John Marino coming back? And do you think it makes an impact for this team?
Oh, he absolutely makes an impact. I mean, this guy, John Marino's debut for Utah was an absolute statement performance that clearly demonstrated why he didn't need time in the AHL, right? This guy, because most players take time in the AHL to get back into game shape. They get a few games to come back. This dude played 18 minutes. Marino ranked third among Utah's defensemen, and he was just an absolute force on the ice for every single minute that he was out there. I think the most telling part of his performance was probably the impact that he had during the 15 minutes that he spent at even strength, right? So when he was on the ice 5-on-5, Utah absolutely dominated the play. That's all there is to it. The numbers speak for themselves. 18 shot attempts, 10 scoring chances, 6 high danger chances, and 1.13 expected goals. Without him out there, the team's numbers just plummeted, man. They only had 5 shot attempts, 4 scoring chances, and 0.21 expected goals in the time that he's off the ice for Utah hockey. So his presence made a clear difference the whole time that he was out there. And it wasn't just in the offensive zone, right? Those are just offensive numbers.
Right.
He led all Utah skaters in on-ice shot attempts, unblocked shot attempts, shots on goal, and expected goal percentage. And when they were at full strength at 5-on-5, he wasn't just, I mean, this dude wasn't just getting back in the saddle, right? He got out there and he made a difference immediately. He finished with the second highest game score among Utah defensemen. And that's according to Hockey Stat Cards. So, I mean, that kind of tells you a lot about his all around game, that he was just out there. He played a great game. He was rock solid. So yeah, I mean, he was fantastic in his game back. He's going to continue to make a huge difference for this team moving forward. I mean, I've got a ton of statistics that we can go into, but his first game back was absolutely great.
Just sucks it came in a loss.
It did come in a loss, but it's a huge step moving forward, right?
Give it 5 goals when you bring your best defensive player back. It's kind of not great.
But we've lost a ton of pieces over the season.
True.
As far as offensive weapons, and replacing those guys is going to be more difficult. One thing you got to remember about Marino is he is actually not a great offensive player. He never has been in his career.
No.
So he's very much a defensive player. The team did play offensively better when he was out there, but he himself doesn't actually take a ton of shots.
No.
So he doesn't take a ton of shots on goal. He doesn't assist a lot. The team's better because he's back there playing great defense. So his debut was great, man. I mean, really, he had a great first game back. It's great to have him out there. He plays with really good positioning, and he's got a great ability to contribute without the puck. So he's going to be a guy that's going to make a difference moving forward.
Oh, no, I 100% agree. I really think that he's going to be one that can even tip the scales. I think if we had him back earlier at this homestand, we'd be staring at a much different record than what we're looking at right now.
Absolutely.
We had a 2-1 loss, a 3-1 loss, and some other ones that are kind of tough, that if you had your best defensive player on there. It also doesn't help that Dylan Gunther, our leading goal scorer, was not in that game last night.
Yep, out indefinitely with a lower body injury.
Yeah, so that kind of hurts there. So it just kind of seems like we just need to wait for people to get back and get healthy before we can really see what this team looks like. Having a Marino back now and having have him help solidify the defensive end, I think is going to be huge. I don't think the ship has sunk yet for the Utah Hockey Club to make the playoffs this year, but just like you said, the margin is definitely getting tighter. For sure.
Absolutely.
We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think the Utah Hockey Club are still in a position to win a spot in the NHL playoff? We'd love to hear from you on that. What do you think about John Marino's return to your Utah Hockey Club, making his season debut halfway through the season? We would love to hear from you. Let us know your comments down below for that. As a reminder, we did just launch our channel, Utah Hockey DNA. This is a channel specifically for your Utah Hockey Club. All of our content will be posted here first. So a link to that channel will be in the description. So if you're watching this on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, be sure to check out the description to see a link to this channel, Utah Hockey DNA. If you're watching this on Utah Hockey DNA, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that like button for your boy AJ over there.
Boom, do it.
And we'd love to hear from you. So be sure to chime in and be sure to check it out. We have a hoodie there for your Utah Hockey Club, Utah Hockey DNA in the merch store. Check it out.
Yep. Beautiful hoodie too.